My burnout recently has been like insane. Like I woke up today, I haven't even done anything, and then I just napped all day. I got some new stuff. I got myself a refurbished Xbox, which is coming in the mail just to watch my DVDs and then a game. And just came in the mail today for my little haul, and it's so cool. It's a neuroscience coloring book, but it's super duper detailed. I think it's gonna be really, really fun to fill out. And I have another coloring book. Wait, I'll show you. I got it for 350 at a charity shop and it's never been used. It's the anatomy coloring book and I've been really looking forward to do these. Obviously with my project I haven't really had the time, but I really have wanted to learn, like study more. And I don't know, this is just such a cute way to do it. And it's got a lot of information and it's a thick book. Look at this coloring book. This thing is like a textbook. I didn't expect it to be so detailed, but I'm actually really excited. I'm just gonna chat before I get into work. I probably won't get into work for another like little bit of time because like I said, my brain, it's like I don't know what's going on. I just can't think anymore. But I'm gonna fix my hair. But I feel like I just keep pushing myself to work because then the work will be done and I don't have to do it anymore. Whereas if I wait around, it's still on the back of my mind, still draining me of my energy and not done. I'll take a break. No, I'll chill for a while. I think the more I've gone along life or whatever, or just this whole process, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm tired of, I don't know. I was watching this video today on UFO sightings, or like this one UFO sighting where all these kids saw these aliens, supposedly, and it was 62 kids, and all of them had like the same story about it. But then people in the comments were talking about how they witnessed firsthand that especially kids, like it's very easy for them to get into mass hysteria. And I don't know, everyone was talking about memory and how memory is so flaky and it's so hard to really know if you remembered something, all this stuff. And I don't know. I had that back and forth with myself for such a long time about, I don't know. And this project has been really good for helping me with that because I lived in like really, really, really intense anxiety and self-doubt for like years, particularly as a result of having tried to get justice for what happened to me and it didn't work out. I can't even begin to describe to you the level of pain that it caused me to live in such intense conflict within myself, feeling like I couldn't understand myself. I couldn't understand if what I had faced was real, if I was somehow confabulating everything, like all this stuff. It was really, really intense. And I felt like, but even so, my body was still impacted. And I was like, I don't know. That's why I went down this path in the first place. I was like, I can't keep going in life without having the answer because then I will just hate myself my whole life and I'll never understand myself and I'll never know, like I'll never just give myself the care and the validation that I need because I'll never feel worthy of it if I don't find the answer to this problem. So it's made me really happy to sort of start to have it now, but I don't know. I want to write a lot more about recovered memory. I feel like because I had that experience, I had to navigate a lot of that stuff, like a lot of the different anxieties, a lot of the different pitfalls that you could have with recovered memory. I think I went down but I don't know, I've been feeling more stable in myself recently because I've done this project. I've been feeling like I like myself more. I've been feeling more balanced. I've been feeling happier. But I don't know. I had to just turn away from that content. And then I was watching this one about orangutans and how orangutans are probably really, really smart. Like it was talking about this orangutan that was like premeditated this murder. Is that the right phrase? Like it was a girl orangutan and she like pre-thought out a murder and carried it out. And yeah, I know animals are really, really smart. I think they're more conscious and more intelligent than we give them credit for. But that was irritating me too for some reason. I don't know. I think I'm just burnt out and anything that's just like making me question reality or making me question anything, I'm just like, I don't want to know anymore. Like I'm tired. Or for example, I think also the burnout has been heightened by even I think being in this political climate right now, feeling like I can't ever have like a just a solid framework of my own reality and like I have to be constantly sort of swayed by the whims of other people. Or I really, like I said a few times, I really want to write about this, but I found that one of the most difficult parts of having going through a mental illness was feeling like I had to give my agency over to other people, because when you get mentally ill, it's like you have to sort of, to a certain degree, you have to relinquish that sense of ownership that you have over your reality, because your reality is getting sort of distorted by having a mental illness, and then you have to basically hand that over to another person, and that person is then going to sort of take charge a little bit of how you handle your reality, or be the one to correct you on your own reality, or et cetera, and then people don't really I feel like people are constantly looking to question your reality or question your relationship with the world. And for me, that was really anxiety inducing and really frustrating. And it made me feel even more fragmented. I actually feel like that fragmented me more emotionally, because I felt like I couldn't ever feel solid in myself or solid in my perception, or et cetera, et cetera. And I think that obviously in my case, it was like there's a misogyny element to it too, or there was like a, because of the recovered memory element, that even though I wasn't wrong, I was, my reality was being questioned. And I just couldn't get myself to like this baseline reality where I feel good, I feel comfortable, like I understand the world. And I think that made me stronger. But I think, yeah, I think that was probably to me the hardest part of, particularly as a smart person. I feel like I'm a very intelligent person. I'm pretty grounded. Like I would say I'm a very grounded person. Like I have like a strong sense of logic and etc. So it was really hard for me to feel like I didn't feel ownership over reality anymore, or that somebody else was gonna, I had to look to other people to dictate what my reality was, or what the correct reality was. That was really hard for me and a lot to work through. And I feel like I'm getting better with that, but I don't know. I think because of that, I almost feel a little bit like that confidence was weakened, and like I feel really sensitive to maybe I'm not getting it right, or maybe there's a more correct way to see the world, or maybe I'm not seeing the world correctly. And I feel like it gives me anxiety when I see stuff about us not seeing the world correctly, or etc. That's really anxiety inducing for me. So sometimes I feel like even when it comes to stuff like politics, I'm like, I need to take a step back from everything. Like, I don't, like, okay, that's what I don't like about the internet. And it's cool to have our perceptions questioned, but I feel like it's like almost the task of the internet to be shifting your reality, or changing your reality, or convincing you to change yourself, convincing you to do this and this and that. And I stepped away from all social media. I really only use YouTube, and I don't watch much YouTube. I think most of my energy has gone to this project, and that's been really useful for me because it's been empowering, it's been grounding, it's been something that there's a right answer to it, and I can just do the work and I get an answer. But I feel like sometimes the internet exhausts me because I feel tired. Like it's tiring. I think particularly right now, like there's always a new trend. You're always supposed to be changing yourself again, change yourself again, change yourself again, question yourself again, like all this stuff. And I already had that, and I just get really exhausted and depleted as well. I think that's been really an overall energy depleting me. And I think that, yeah, the more I go along, the more I'm just like, I don't watch that much YouTube anymore. I don't watch anything like that. And I don't know. I just want to do my work, and that's it. I Sometimes it's just exhausting to be constantly consuming people's opinions. Even, for example, even in my own field, like even in psychology, like I think I keep getting twisted up, like I don't know, maybe I'm all wrong, stuff like that, where it's like I don't know. Sometimes like I just want to do my work, and that's it. I don't, let me be wrong. I don't care if my reality is completely distorted, so be it. I just want to be in peace. I just want to live my world, my life. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just feel like sometimes like the interconnectedness of the internet and the interconnectedness of our political sphere and all this stuff, it's like this constantly like change your opinion, change yourself, all this stuff. And I get tired. Like I don't know. Does this make any sense? I don't know. I just feel like I'm tired. Okay. I think going through this entire journey has been this massive maturing process, and I think that it's given me a lot of maturity. It's given me a lot of perspective as well, like not just this project too, but just everything from trauma to this project has given me, it's been such a maturing process, and all this stuff. And I think that the more I go along, I just don't feel like letting people sway me, or I don't feel like constantly letting somebody tell me who to be, change my reality, all this stuff. Like I just want to do my work, and then I want to enjoy my life. I want to have fun. I don't want people causing drama. I don't want to mess. I don't want anything. I just want to do my work, and I want to like go in and enjoy that. The outcome of that. You know, I got my coloring books now. I got my Xbox. I'm gonna play video games. I'm gonna watch DVDs. Like it's gonna be nice. Even for example, I switched to DVDs over Netflix and stuff. Partly because I just the thing about the subscriptions is you have to get like 10 of them. You can't just have one. It's like you have one and then they keep switching up the show. I'm like, no, just I just want my shows. I literally got a box set today of The Nanny. I got a box set of, which is a really good TV show. I got a box set of like my favorite show, my Mad Fat Diary. I have like movies that I was trying to pirate the other day, Princess and the Frog, and I was like, I actually have the DVD now. I can just watch it. It's just I feel like there's this energy to being in the age of the internet where it's like you don't own anything, nothing feels material, nothing feels like okay, you can have a solid perception of the world. It's like everyone's trying to change you and sway you and pick at your mind and steal your attention and all this stuff. And it's like I just don't like it. Like it makes me feel frazzled, particularly because of my like own mental illness that I navigated and then having to navigate the everything from that. It's like no, I got my DVDs now. I don't have to go through anybody's internet subscription accounts. I have my little Xbox I'm gonna play with. I have my stuff. I have my books. I have my everything. Like I just don't want to engage, and I just get exhausted of like the internet. And I just want to do this project. I want to finish it, and then like relax, enjoy my life. I don't know. I'm just tired of mess. I think I just had so much internal mess that it's like I don't enjoy the mess anymore. So that was my rant. But I found myself watching these YouTube videos and getting in that little mentality of like, even for example, I think it's kind of fun sometimes to question the universe and be like, oh, what's the truth or all this stuff. I just get tired. I'm like, I don't care. Do aliens exist? Do they not? I don't care. If they do, that's cool. If they don't, that's cool. Are orangutans secretly evil and like super smart and gonna be serial killers? Probably. I don't know. I don't know if this sounds insane. I'm kind of burnt out, but I feel like that's just been my energy today. I'm just tired. Don't tell me. That's actually oh my gosh, my grandma. It's actually so funny. My grandma, like, now that she's older, I would say, like, I feel like everything you tell her, she's like, just don't tell me. Or like, I mean, she's actually pretty politically engaged, I would say, for an older person, but she's just like, I don't want to know. And I'm like, you know what? When I was younger, like, I'd be kind of like, why don't you want, like, in my head, I'd be like, why are you giving up? Like, why doesn't she want to know? And I'm like, you know what? I'm with you now. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I'll find the things that are important to me, but I don't want to know your new opinion. I don't want to know. I mean, I do, but okay. I don't know. I'm just getting off topic now. This was like my burnout chat. Okay. Do I sound completely incoherent? Okay. I'm going to go get a snack and then pop back in a bit to actually work, but I'm tired. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to be on the internet. I just want to do my work. All right. I'm waiting for my pho, which is getting here through Uber Eats because I didn't have it in me to go grocery shopping, but I've basically just been sitting here watching The Nanny and just dispersing these sort of chunks of text. I'm going through all of my ones on trauma or structural fragmentation. So I'm just going through and seeing what's relevant, what do I want to include, and then sort of finding the pieces that it's related to, and then just dispersing it out like that. Which looks a bit messy, but it's not been a bad like format, I guess. So you see, I got like all the trauma stuff in here. Well, anyways, I have one piece that I forgot to include last time, or I guess I didn't know where to put it yet, so I just stuck it at the end because I'm going to talk about memory binding. Where did I go? Okay, I'm going to talk about memory binding, but I need to essentially have a section on fragmentation, which I want to talk about how how you might see fragmentation, not in those words exactly, but this is the thing about fragmentation. We're going to include a text here really quick. Let's see if I put it in. I think I might not have yet, but I did read a text on fragmentation. It's this one, but I haven't actually put in the notes yet. Essentially, the point of that one, I'm going to put in just like a filler in Rubin 2008. Basically, it said that fragmentation is actually this is the thing, is that in these studies, when people are looking for fragmentation, so fragmentation, basically the idea that people, when they're having, a lot of times people who have experienced trauma will report that their traumatic experience, they experience as like in chunks, or it's sort of broken up into pieces, or you feel sort of broken up into pieces. But when people actually go to test fragmentation, a lot of the times they are not really able to find it because they're looking at whether people's narratives are fragmented. So whether they can basically say, is their trauma coherent? But this is my thinking, is that I think that's going to come down to less of that and more of a memory binding issue, because actually a question like this would come down to more of like a verbal skill issue, not skill, but or verbal impairment. And it basically would have to do more with parts of the brain that can sort of translate your experience into speech. But the thing is that people experience a sense of fragmentation, not as I can't tell you what happened in words. Like, it's not like I'm like, I went to I don't know. It's like, you can say, well, I don't actually know what happened at this point in time. Like, it's not about whether you can say it, but it's about whether you are recalling it in a fragmented way. And I think that's going to come down to memory binding, which I'm incorporating into my neural network. So this is the thing. Memories of trauma may be available as isolated fragments rather than as coherently bound episodes. And that's one of the cases it doesn't really need to be a case, but I do want to explore the fact that fragmentation is a little bit difficult to sort of test in like an experimental setting, because it's not that people are saying they can't say what happened per se, but it's just that people are experiencing it as sort of disorganized. And that might just be that things are not properly binded, but that doesn't impair your verbal skills, doesn't necessarily impair your ability to speak coherently about what you dealt with. Just means that you can't recall it properly. So I'm going to talk about that and talk about how that's how I'm sort of navigating fragmentation. But I need to go into that some more. So that's it for now. Right. Here we have the world's best food. I eat this food like, this is what I eat anytime I don't feel well. Like, no matter what, I always got to eat pho. We have it. All right. I got veggie. I got a little tired of the beef one, but with the beef bone broth. Actually, I feel like the paper is really shaping up like pretty quick. It's very peaceful to just sort of copy paste things around and kind of satisfying. That binding stuff, I wasn't the first one to say it, obviously. That was the other researcher said something adjacent, but I'm just going to make like a case for it and then reference some of the other texts that talk about binding. Good morning. What we're going to do today is basically just read some of those papers about synaptic excitability and stress and synaptic excitability in the hippocampus that I downloaded in another video. So in my last video, I downloaded that. So we're just going to read some of those, and I'm going to see if I can get some more information, because my last little piece is fixing up that part about the amygdala tagging or something like that. And I think that's just going to come down to reading, to be honest. So, all right, we're going to do that. Well, let's find those texts that I downloaded last time. Okay, I've been reading, and I cannot believe how literally every single piece of this project has come to me, like, just there it is. I'm going to show you. I thought this part was going to be really hard to argue, because actually in the rat study with inescapable stress, what was happening is that the rats that were actually exposed to inescapable stress, they had these sort of differences in excitability, I think. So basically, when the excitability has gone, basically when the ACH went up, usually as it goes up, I guess you would see an increase in excitability. But what happened is that once they got to the stress point, basically it wasn't going up, even though it was getting higher. And then after they left the restraint, they had a depression of synaptic excitability, something like that, something abnormal. And I was like, how do I argue this? And also because I was worried that, because I did see that same effect mentioned in another study of with chronic stress, but I was like, how do I make sure that that's going to be something valid to argue in the context of my study, because my study has a bit of a shorter stressor. Like that one had like 2 days of 5 days. It was like 5 days, 2 hours each, or 2 hours, 2 days, 5 hours each, something like that of stress. And then they had that effect. But I've been reading this paper, and just right off the bat, they had another study they're mentioning where they had rats getting restraint in 30-minute acute tail shocks, which is the same thing as mine. So one every minute for 30 minutes, and then the second is restraint for a 30-minute period with no tail shock, and then finally naive controls kept in their home cage. So right in line with mine. So it says, and right after they prepared hippocampal slices. So within the first minute, post tetanic potentiation (PTP) occurred in all slices and under all conditions. 30 minutes after tetanus, slices from the naive control, so I guess that's just in their home cage, exhibited normal levels of long-term potentiation, whereas slices from the restrained and stressed rats exhibited a marked impairment. So these data suggest that stress can significantly modulate neuronal plasticity in the rodent hippocampus. That's all I have to do. So I need to just find this study. Let's find it. I'm going to read this whole thing. It's not long, but we're going to see really quick. My brain kind of hurts because even though this has been weirdly easier than I expect at every point, I feel like it's still like a big shock. It's just a shock that this is working out. So I get kind of stressed, like, whoa, this is insane. So we need to find both these studies. I keep telling myself, because sometimes I get in this cycle, like you have to keep working, working, working. And then I get annoyed at myself that I'm not working. But it's like sometimes you need to just lay down and rest and let the connections make themselves, because I was going to push myself yesterday. I was going to push myself this morning. And then I just decided to watch a movie instead, which, I felt kind of bad, but I was like, no, I'll just watch a movie. And then bam, there we go. I honestly can't tell sometimes if I'm really good at this. It just feels really random. Like, whoa, every answer feels like it's just come my way, honestly. Like, it's not been like this massive push. I don't know. And now I'm finding a lot of other studies about the same thing, which is nice. I'm stressed out. This is massive, actually. It's like a massive thing happening right now in my life. I've never had this happen. I don't know. There's so many studies on this now. Like what? I'm saying my life is not usually this easy. Usually everything in my life is a struggle. I tell you, like everything in my life has been like this, everything is this torturous struggle. Everything is so difficult. It's like, how do I get through this? I'm like asking myself for guidance all the time, trying to figure out how to get through every situation. When it comes to this paper, it's the opposite. It's like everything is just randomly extremely easy. Like every single answer I've had, like it's there. Like every single bit of thing that I've been like, how am I gonna do this? That seems hard. Give it 2 days, it's done. It's insane. I don't have this with anything else. It's really weird. It's like the first thing in my life that has gone easily in a weird way, but it's like such a big thing to go easily. Like, you know what I mean? Everything else, love life, money life, job hunting, everything, hard, 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 like struggle, struggle. This is the first thing in my life that has gone easily. It's really weird. The only thing that's not easy is I'm exhausted and I'm not getting paid for this, so it's like hard work, but it's kind of creepy. Actually, this project creeps me out sometimes. I'm like, what is happening? Okay, I'm gonna stop for now. Again, I've been trying to give myself lots of breaks. I'm usually running like right on time or late for things. I feel like I have a meeting on the 8th of October to talk to somebody, and I'm weirdly early. Like now it shouldn't be that big of a deal to put this into my neural network, I think, but I do have to read how to do it. I don't know, this is weird. So first thing in my life that has gone easily and it's so big. Today we're watching Wall-E. I feel like heaven for me will be like one day I have one task that I actually care about and that's important to me and I'm just doing that. That's the source of my income. That's it. That's all I want. I just want to focus on one thing and then I want to go home and relax and have nothing to think about. Oh my God, I'm really upset today, but we're just going to keep going with this project until it's done so I can finally be free. As much as I want to crash out right now, again, I want to finally, the first time in my life, be free. Well, free sucks, like, objectively speaking, it's like, yeah, that's absolutely horribly complicated. Like, this is such a massive thing. This is a massive project. This is not like a light work kind of thing. And it's like, it makes sense for my just to want to be working on this, just to want to be consumed by this. Like, it's not like a little thing on the side, but like, I can't do it because I need money. I need to have a life. I need to sustain myself. So I can't just drop everything and work on this. And so as valid as it is for this to be sort of, causing me to sort of want to slow down or burn out or whatever, it's like I can't because I have an actual like I need money for my life. So that's the thing that sucks. And then yeah, I just can't wait to hopefully do this as a job one day so I don't feel like this anymore. We're gonna go into some of these texts and actually try to unpack them a bit. And that's gonna involve going to ChatGPT. Oh, here's Yerkes and Dodson again. They were the ones talking about the U-shaped arousal. It sucks being in your early 20s and trying to build something of your life too. It's like, why aren't you going out dating? Why don't you have friends? Bro, because people keep being, I don't know, because I can't live without this. And then that's like this added pressure on top of my life where it's like you're wasting your life, and it's like, but I want to build something of myself. So sucks to suck. We're gonna plug the full paper in because I just don't have it in me right now to like think about it, you know? I'm so mad today. I'm just like mad. And then oh my gosh, I'm just gonna vent about everything. The cats I'm cat sitting eat like 10, like literally I'm between the two cats that I'm cat sitting right now. They went through a full like it was one of those boxes of cat food that's like two boxes in one. They went through it in like maybe 2, 3 days. How do you eat so much? Oh my gosh, it's not even how do you eat so much food? And they're skinny cats. So now I'm out of cat food again. I have to go get cat food again, and I don't want to leave the house. I'm just not in a good mood today at all. I'm shocked every time. How do you go through a massive box of cat food in like 2, 3 days? I got a new Xbox. Well, it's a refurbished Xbox. I just want to play video games, but I don't even have, it's like you don't have time to play video games. You don't. You have your job and you have this project. It's not even that I don't have time per se, but that I'm so burnt out that it's like when I do have the time right now, learning to play the video game feels like a task on top of the task that I'm already doing. You know, it's like I'll wait till I have mental capacity. I can watch a movie, but I don't have the time to learn to play a video game because I'm learning all this stuff right now. So much of the hard part of my life has just been figured out by me. Get me? You have to figure it out. Like y'all couldn't figure this out for me, so I didn't have to do it. Y'all being other scientists that aren't me. Y'all couldn't have figured it out for me, please. Oh my gosh. My life also has been like an intense. It's like getting, you know, those videos of you put something in like one of those pressers that just presses things down until they squish. I feel like that's my life, pressure wise. Inescapable pressure. And then I feel like an awful cat owner. I've not been playing with my cat enough. I feel like she's getting bored, the worst part of it all. Wait, I'm asking how this long-term potentiation stuff translates into sharp wave ripples. I'm just gonna keep asking questions till I understand because I don't actually, to be honest, right now. I was thinking today, I've been thinking this so much recently. Being smart actually sucks bad. It's so sucky in reality. I genuinely think that I would have a better life if I wasn't smart. Because then you go off and do stupid stuff like this, and it's like, why did I choose to do this? Because it's like you have a problem, and instead of going like, oh, I'm gonna just go on with my day, you can see how messed up the problem is. I'm like, this is so messed up. And then I can see like a path forward for how to fix it, but it's like, okay, but now I don't know. This is fun, but I feel like sometimes I just know too much or see too much. Like, I can see, oh gosh, I have this one situation, I've mentioned it before. I'm like, I know for a fact that it's gonna go this way. I know it in my heart. I can see it from a mile away. It's gonna go like this. But it's so annoying because it hasn't happened like that yet. And it's like now I just feel on edge all the time because I know it's gonna go like that. And it's like I'm not gonna go into detail, but it's really, really annoying. If I didn't know this, if I had no idea, oh my god, my life would be like a freaking blessing. Like my life would be so happy. But it's like I see it coming, which it's a good thing coming, but it's a really annoying thing. Like it's like I don't like if I didn't know, I would be happy. You know they say ignorance is bliss. It's so true. I wish I didn't know. Even though it's a good thing, I wish I didn't know it because then I'm sitting here thinking about it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not right. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's not going to turn out that way or it is going to turn out that way. So why isn't it going like that way now? What's stopping it from going that way right now? Why is it taking so long? Bro, shut up. Why? My brain just works like that and it's so annoying. And I'm right. That's the worst part is that I'm right a lot of the time. I'm very accurate, but it just hurts because like I don't want to know. I would rather not know and be surprised more often, you know? And then you can't convince people of things either. Like I will oh my gosh, it's this situation. I told this person, I've told them 7,000 times they don't do anything about it. They don't act towards it. They don't do anything. I've told them For years, I've told them, and they don't listen. They don't do. Oh my gosh, it's so annoying. And if I was not as smart, I could go on with my life peacefully because I'd be like, oh, I'm just stupid. I just didn't know what I was talking about. I was just wrong. No, I'm smart enough to know that I'm right, and that's the worst part. Because then you can't convince people that they're wrong. So you just look like a jerk because you keep, you know what I mean? It's really annoying. I told them though. I told them if I'm not right by this, I put a deadline because I was like, I know what's gonna happen by this time. I said, if I'm wrong, I will literally send you 100,000 pounds. I will send it to you. That's how certain I am. If I'm right, I get to laugh in your face and I get to laugh in everybody else's face too. I told them, I was like, I will literally give you $100,000, no lie, because I have the intelligence to know I'll have that money by then. I'm gonna laugh in their face, in the face of everybody they know, and I told them I get to say I'm right and you're wrong. So let's see. I'm telling you for a fact, though, I'm not saying that $100,000 because I already know what's gonna happen. I'm looking forward to that day greatly, though. That's the fun thing, though, is you do get to say I told you so. But I wish I didn't get to say I told you so. My brain is not picking up information anymore. Okay, let's make like a little cheat or like a note sheet. I don't know. I should have upped the bet too, because I just all I said is I'm gonna get to laugh in your face in the face of everyone around you. I hope that's a horrible enough thing for them to make it worth 100,000 pounds, you know? But I should have really upped it because I don't think that they believe me at all. If not, they'd be acting differently right now. So I should have upped it like crazy. Like I should have been like, you're gonna pay, like you have to pay for my like an entire vacation. Like literally, you have to pay for like a trip to Japan or something. Oh, I really regretted it after. I was like, I should have upped it by so much because I know that I'm right. I could have extracted much more from the situation. But I didn't want to, by then it was too late. I was like, if I say more, I'm gonna seem like a jerk, so we have to leave it at that. But I was really annoyed. I should have upped it so bad. That was dumb of me. See, and they still don't think I'm right. But that's on them. No, it's on me because oh, see, now I'm regretting it so bad. I should have upped it. Like, I should have been like, you have to send me $1 million, but they won't have that by then, I bet. Okay, we're gonna open some text, more text. Should I up it? Oh, I'm regretting it so bad. I'm sorry. Now it's really circulating my head. They've been wrong about other things too. I was right on other things. So you would think they'd believe me by now, but they don't. Very important in large things. I told them. You know what? Let's up it now. Literally right now, we're gonna up the bet. Nah, I'll give it to them. I'll just laugh really hard and make it really embarrassing. If I sound like a jerk right now, I'm not. I gave them like years of chances. I told them. I told them 1 million times this is gonna happen, and they've left me tortured like for years. I'm thinking I'm crazy, but I'm not. It's less torturous that it hasn't happened yet, and more torturous that I literally feel like a crazy person, even though I told them so. That's the annoying thing. This person is horribly stubborn too. They're so stubborn. It's crazy. It's so crazy. They won't listen for anything. They literally refuse to listen no matter what. I don't think they want me to be right. I bet you. I think they don't want to admit defeat because usually they beat me at stuff. Usually they beat me at stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like if it comes to like some stupid little game, like some kind of iMessage game or something dumb like that, they'll beat me. I'll give them that. But when it comes to stuff like this, absolutely not. They're gonna lose. They already did one time. I already told them so. I said exactly what's gonna happen, and I was right. And I'm right again, but I don't think they want to admit defeat because I don't think they like to lose. It's so annoying. I'm like, I can tell you with certainty that I'm right, bro. But that's okay. They don't want to give me credit either. I don't think that they do. But we'll see who's laughing at the end. I'm so tired of having a freaking side job too. This is a job. This is a job. This is my stupid freaking job. It's like, oh, I just want to get paid for my work and for my labor. I don't want a side job anymore. I've been working side jobs for years, and it's tiring. It's tiring, tiring. I'm so irritated today. This is a lot of work, so much work. I feel like because I'm smart too, this is the other thing about being smart that sucks, is I feel like the universe takes that as a sign to put you in situations where you have to think really hard about your life. Or I don't know if you do that by accident, like you make everything really complex and then it's like this big complex thing. Everything in my life, just everything is so complex all the time and it's just like this massively difficult thing. Every twist and turn is so hard. It's so much hard work. It's so difficult. I'm tired. I don't want it anymore. feel like I haven't gotten one chance in my life to just be lazy. I just want to be lazy. I want to be lazy really bad. Being lazy is a kind of a luxury in a way. All right, so I copy pasted the piece of the other study. And basically, the other piece of the study was essentially saying that the ACH release was in the stress was actually not accompanied by an increase in cell excitability. And then another study said the same thing, as reported here for the amygdala nucleus accumbens. The only significant change in the synaptic response occurred upon release from restraint, where the response was depressed for several minutes. So these results suggest that any increase in cell excitability that may occur in response to the release of ACH during the stressful event is preempted or overcome by inhibitory influences in response to the stressor. I just want to know if this is like the same thing. I'm sorry, my brain at this point is like, just tell me, ChatGPT. Just tell me. If not, then I need to understand if I'm like kind of reading the right thing. Okay, yay, it is relevant. I knew it. Okay, so with the paper saying in reality, there was no increase in CA1 excitability in that situation. In fact, it was even depressed after release, the synaptic response. So what they interpreted that as is the excitatory push from ACH during stress is being overridden by inhibitory influences, likely GABAergic. See, I knew it. I remember reading the thing about GABA, and I said that earlier, right, in this video. If it's not this video, I said it in my last video. So even though ACH release is high, the net output in CA1 is not enhanced. In fact, it's dampened once the stressor ends. For CA1 the LTP to occur, you need CA1 pyramidal cells to be depolarized and undergo postsynaptic strengthening after bursts of input. Under stress, ACH is high, but inhibitory and stress hormone effects dominate, preventing the CA1 from strengthening synapses. So stress meant no LTP, even though the gas pedal of the ACH was pressed. I told y'all so. See how I keep saying I told you so? It's called being smart. I'm so excited for my victory. It is one thing keeping me happy. They will see. Okay, we're gonna copy paste this whole explanation in this whole entire paper. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Virgo. Virgos, we're just always right, essentially. Just kidding. We have good judgment in a way. We're very like observant. So as a Virgo, one of my favorite things in the world is saying I told you so. And this whole project feels like I'm about to say I told you so. See, I told you so. My favorite thing in the world. Okay, what the paper is saying, ACH normally excites pyramidal cells like CA1. You'd expect that during stress, but wait, people love to hate on Virgos because they're right about everything and they're just mad about it. The real truth of being a Virgo. They hate us because they know we're perfect and we are right by everything. What the paper is saying, ACH normally excites hippocampus pyramidal cells. What's really interesting is they have an even higher increase in ACH at the end, but it's not even just the, I don't know, the excitability is depressed at the end. Okay, so okay. So basically what's happening is that even though the ACH is going up, so things should be getting more like ramped up, because of the stress hormones and the inhibitory hormones, they're basically stopping the CA1 from strengthening that, the synapses that would make you remember things well. I feel like I'm not understanding well enough. That's why you can see high ACH but low LTP and weak sharp wave ripple replay. Okay, so basically it stops ACH from doing the same thing that it usually does. A little bit difficult right now. I'm just gonna ask, so why is it depressed afterwards? I'm assuming it's because, okay, let's see if I'm right. I'm assuming it's because those stress chemicals are maybe still inhibiting things and the ACH is low, so then it gets depressed. That seems logical. Okay, you know what? It's giving me all these different potential reasons that I'll probably try to go into if I can find papers backing them, because I don't want to put anything in my paper that I saw on ChatGPT just because it was, even though if it seems right, unless I find another paper backing that same thing, I'm not going to put it in. I'm using ChatGPT basically like the same way you'd use a teacher, like just to ask questions about text, as if I was going into office hours, but you obviously wouldn't cite your professor in office hours. Like you wouldn't be like, well, my professor said this in office hours, and that seems right, so I'm going to cite it. Well, obviously, I would never cite ChatGPT, but I'm saying I'm not going to include any connection that ChatGPT make unless I find it in another paper as well. You get me? So I did already see lots of text about this resource depletion in the swimming texts. The researchers also say that it could be because of movement. All of a sudden, they started moving again. Then again, I need to double check, but if the rats were getting brushed and they had a freeze response, the thing is that they probably also moved afterwards. But you didn't necessarily see an ACH. Because this is the thing about I'm comparing this to a medium arousal group. So the medium arousal group, they got a lesser sort of stressor, so they were just brushed for 15 minutes. And the thing is, something that I'm gonna make an argument for in my paper is that the thing is that for rat stress, even if they had a moment of freeze or if it was like briefly really stressful for them, one of the things that actually makes it more stressful for the rats, like something that makes an actual rat trauma rather than just a stressor, is length, duration, amongst other things. But I did see that reflected in like quite a few papers, essentially. So the thing is that they didn't have that freeze response for very long, but if they had that freeze response, they still froze, and then they probably moved after they got brushed, but they didn't have. I mean, but then again, I don't know. I have to see if that's true because I doubt they were measuring every single second, but I don't know. Actually, I have to double check. They did say it could be movement, but we'll see. I don't know what I'll say yet. But the medium stress rats in the paper were actually just in the same location though, so maybe they weren't that shocked. I don't know. I don't know. My brain is tired right now, but this is obviously really promising right now. I just think I have like there's a pretty clear there's a consistent pattern in the high stress groups where you see, for example, another rat group that had restrained stress and they also had an uptick in ACH after. I just want this project done so bad you don't even know. Like I'm so tired of doing this. I want to do this for the rest of my life, but I want to only do this. I don't want to do this and other jobs. So which is why I'm ready for this to be done, because this sucks. Like bad. It's actually fun, but it's just kind of sucky when I actually have work to do. Anyways, well, this is interesting for now. Let's go to some of the other studies that I saved. Okay, the thing is, I would read this, but we're gonna skim, but this is actually prefrontal cortex, which I do not think that includes the hippocampus at all. But they might talk about the hippocampus at some point in time, at least in like their introduction. When I'm reading, in case anybody else is interested in the hell that is doing independent research, don't know why you would put yourself through something so absolutely annoying, but in case anybody's interested, one thing I have been doing going along, and granted, I don't think that any other, if you're a complete novice like me, why would you put yourself through this mess? I don't even know why I'm here. But what I've been doing is I've also just been reading along and seeing these people that have been published and like what are they, how do they write? What kind of formats do they use? I never wrote a scientific paper, so I'm looking, for example, how many people are they typically citing here? Stuff like that. Just it's like good learning too, just observing other people and what they do, just emulating, but not too much. It's actually just search hippocampus and see if there's any. I don't think this paper is very useful for me because talking about the prefrontal cortex. Oh my god, it's freezing again. Okay, let's see what is the prefrontal cortex. I forget. I mean, I not forget per se, but I just want to make sure I'm really okay. Yeah, the front part of the brain. The hippocampus, I think, is like back here. It's like the lizard brain part of the brain. So this has zero to do with what I'm doing. It's probably useful still, but I don't feel like reading it. Okay. The stressed hippocampus, synaptic plasticity, and long-term lost memories. What I like about neuroscience versus psychology, and obviously I love psychology, but I love this kind of the certainty of neuroscience because sometimes with psychology, something I don't like about psychology is I don't like the tendency to sort of superimpose a story or to sort of I don't know. I like the certainty of neuroscience. Like this is exactly why it's happening. And again, I love psychology. I love like psychoanalysis and stuff, but I think, yeah, one of the things that for in terms of my own like academic career or whatever that I don't like about it is I don't know. I think well that's kind of like more the dark side of psychology is I think sometimes I don't like superimposing like an interpretation over somebody's experience. It's not a bad thing. I guess people should be imposing their own. I don't know. Sometimes I don't like that element of it, you know. Whereas neuroscience, it's like I'm not imposing anything on anybody. I'm just telling you what's happening. Like this is just straight up what's happening and why it's impacting this about you. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? It's not supposed to be superimposing a narrative on somebody, but you know what I'm saying where you're like, "Well, is this because like your father didn't give you enough attention as a child?" I mean, that's super useful too. I like it. I love psychology. I love psychoanalysis and stuff. I'm just saying I like that about neuroscience that I'm like I don't have to deal with the nitty-gritty of like imposing anything on anybody. I'm just going to tell you like how chemicals work, you know. That's why even though I think I'd be a good therapist because I don't know, people come to me for therapy-esque advice all the time, and I do have a lot of life wisdom. I never wanted to be a therapist that much. I like doing things that are impacting like a lot of people at once. Like I just like I feel like I like being behind the scenes. Like I was speaking in another video about politics and how I was like I don't when I was a kid I was like I like I was like I don't know if I like protesting that much. I want to do something more behind the scenes. I don't know, I just like being a little bit more behind the scenes, you know? It's just my vibe. Also, I've just been through too much. I'm like I don't feel like I have too much of my own baggage to deal with. I don't feel like being a therapist, but not to say you shouldn't deal with people's baggage if you have trauma, but I'm like I've been through too much. I'm tired of baggage myself or trauma in that sense. I just want to do like fun sciencey stuff. Um, I don't know. But I do think I would have made a good therapist in another life because like I said, people come to me for advice like quite a lot. And I do think I'm pretty good at psychoanalyzing people to a certain degree, but I just don't want to do that. It seems fun though. It seems like a really fun thing to do. Like it kind of seems really fun to be a therapist. I'm not gonna lie. Like the just like the uncovering of it. Like you're like doing this whole uncovering of somebody's entire like life and personality. It's kind of like you're peeling back the layers. I think that looks really, really fun, but I don't know. I just like I don't know. I guess it's not for me. Plus, I don't know. I feel like I couldn't deal with it with certain situations. You have to have such intense patience to be a therapist. This is coming from myself, a mentally ill individual who went through a lot of therapy. I mean, I tried my best, but I'm sure sometimes my therapist was like, "What is not what's going on?" Like I don't think it was that degree, but just like, okay, like you're not getting it right now. Oh my gosh, like I remember this one time. This is my perfectionist brain. It's so bad. Like, what was it that I was saying? She was telling me, I think she was trying to tell me how anxiety, she was telling me, I had a great therapist, really good therapist I liked a lot, and then she had to move away. So, but she told me something about creativity. Like, she was like, kind of almost like the good side of, she was saying that one of the other parts of being anxious is that she found that it was something like this. It was like years ago now, so I don't fully remember, but it was like that anxious people also can be really creative people, or that it was I don't remember the context, but she told me something like that, that anxious sometimes that tendency to be anxious also shows like a little bit of a tendency to have be creative, something along those lines. I don't remember why I went like this. I was like, I know what you're talking about. I was walking around the other day and I realized that if I was anxious about something, it meant that deep down I knew what the right way to do it was, or like the right answer was. So, like, if I was anxious that I was doing something bad, deep down, this is the most anxious thing I've ever heard. Deep down, I actually know the right way to do it, and that's why I'm anxious. And no, bro, you missed the whole point. My gosh, that is exactly like, you know what I mean? Where it was kind of, it was almost humorous. Like, instantly, I was like, what am I saying? Like, that's the most anxious and paranoid thing to say in your life, the most perfectionist thing to say, where it's like, oh, I was like, I'm anxious that I'm not saying stuff right in Spanish class, but that's because deep down, I know the right way to say it. So my brain can acknowledge that I'm wrong because deep down it knows the right way to do it. I'm so that's the Virgo in me right there. What are you saying? So yeah, I feel like being a therapist must be a lot. It must take a lot of patience. Some of this is just gonna go into my little sheet that I'm making here. This is just my problem solving sheet for this. I have a lot of little side sheets with different themes. So this is gonna be my, I don't know, arousal. And I was so, oh my gosh, dude. I looking back, I was so bad in therapy. No, I was actually, I feel like I was one of those people where it's like, you know where you're like you don't want to get things wrong in therapy, but the whole point of being in therapy, it's not like a right or wrong thing. But it's like I want to get the right answers in therapy. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I feel like it wasn't that I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that definitely stopped me from sharing some stuff because I was like, I don't want to seem crazy. It's like, bro, you're in therapy. Therapy is for that. You're supposed to talk about the crazy stuff. But I was like, I don't want to seem crazy in therapy. Okay, like also I didn't want my therapist to have a bad opinion of me. These are like highly my anxiety. Like I don't want my therapist to dislike me. I was constantly overthinking if my therapist disliked me. You know what I mean? Where it's like, bro, please calm down. That was years ago now, but I'm so paranoid sometimes. Or like, did I say the wrong thing in therapy for my therapist to hate me now? Or not hate me, but just be like, what's wrong with this person? Where it's like the whole point is that there is something wrong with you. That's why you're in therapy. Come on now. I'm just gonna blame it all on my sign. Again, it's all because I'm a Virgo. It's nothing else. I need astrology informed therapy. Like I need my therapist to know that it's because I'm a Virgo, you know? Or I need my therapist to be like, "Ugh, it's because you're right now your moon is actually transiting your fifth house, and that's why you're acting this way. Typical. Like I need astrology informed psychology. That's what TikTok is for. Even though I don't go on it. But back in the day, that's what TikTok was for. As you can tell, I'm obsessed with getting things right, but it's because I think I'm wrong most of the time. I'm too obsessed with right and wrong. You know what? This is a therapy session right now. I'm really too obsessed with right and wrong. I'm awful. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here come the cats again. They want more food again. These cats, I'm like a personal chef to cats all day. Okay, I'm gonna go buy cat food. By the time I came back with the food, the one cat was gone. His name is Juliu. We have Juliu, who I'm cat sitting, and then we have Mosey, who's my cat. My cat is old. She's like probably like 14, 15 at this point. And she's a little gremlin. She is a gremlin, honestly. Juliu likes to hunt, so I thought he was gonna be the one bothering Mosey, short for Mozart. But she's casual about it, but she's a demon. She also, this is the thing, is that she prefers, I swear to God, she prefers to steal Juliu's food than she likes to eat her own. It's really random. Obviously, she loves her own food. I think it's because I mix her food with water because she doesn't drink water. Mosey's a little demon. She's like an old lady, but like who seems innocent on the surface, but is kind of like she'll like whack you with her cane, you know? Actually, like usual, working on the project makes me feel better. The thing that makes me feel bad is when I'm not working on the project and I'm stressed about it and I have to do my other job. It always puts me in a good mood. I'm happy. I hope I do this for the rest of my life, genuinely. I love this. It makes me happy that this probably is one of the things that makes me the happiest out of everything in the world. Even though I was just saying how much this project sucks, but it's not the learning that sucks. It's not doing it that sucks. It's not being able to do it full time that sucks. I'm still not fully understanding the difference between long-term potentiation and sharp wave ripples. I'm still trying to understand the relationship that between the long-term potentiation and the sharp wave ripples. I think there's a combination. I mean, there's a relationship. Doesn't matter for my study, probably not as much as I think, but I just want to understand so that I get like a broader sense. For LTP to occur, you need CA1 pyramidal cells to be depolarized and to undergo. Okay, I remember this now. I remember it's where the little synapses are together. Oh my gosh, I totally remember this now. They fire together so that it's like a sign for that to strengthen. I remember during real experience, synapses in hippocampus. Am I sending myself down the wrong path right now? I might accidentally be. Well, actually, that's still important. I want to know how was memory encoding in my code? Did they have long-term and short-term potentiation? This is the other thing about Mozart is that Julius starts growling at her like I so often I wake up and they're like kind of mad at each other But the thing about Mozart, I'm like, are you okay? Like, if you hear a cat growling at you, leave the room. But she just stands there. It's not always that she's growling or hissing back, but she kind of just sits there. Like, I don't know if she's asserting her dominance or what, but I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, I come in and Julian's hissing at her, and she's just standing there, like, literally not caring, even walking closer to him or walking around the room. Like, I think she's not really scared of him, even though I don't know if she really likes him. But I think Julio's scared of her. That's the thing. I don't know if he's scared, but he definitely hardcore doesn't like her. But Mosey is so dumb. I feel like she's getting stressed out, but at the same time, I'm like, why don't you just leave the room then? Like nothing is making you be here. Like you could just leave. And she'll just stand there or even get closer to him. She probably has like 3 brain cells max. That's the thing about Mosey. I don't think she knows her own name at all. Like I don't think she ever learned it. Meanwhile, Julie is like this super intensely smart cat who like I used to nanny for this family and I would go on walks with their son and Julie would literally follow us extended ways. Like he would walk with us and then he would like if we got too far ahead, he would like meow until he caught up to us or if he got ahead, he would wait for us. Like he was intentionally walking with us long distances. Mosey does not even know her own name. So I think the lights are not really that on in here. And I think that's why she just sort of stands in here while Julia's like, please leave. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. All she wants to do is cuddle, honestly. She just wants to cuddle and eat. And I don't even know what else, but okay, so it's gonna explain to me how the memory was encoding here. I think that Julie's trying to like get the point across to her to like stay away from him, but she doesn't get the point. Like she doesn't. It's not clicking for her. Like it's truly not clicking for her that means you need to leave. She's like, huh? What are you talking about? Girl, you need to listen to what Julie's saying. You need to exit the room. That's what he's asking you to do. And I think she just fully doesn't understand. This is the thing that's getting me is that I don't think that it actually has like we're gonna compare mine to a paper. We're gonna compare mine to that unified dynamic model, whatever. Because for me, in my head, this should be like, okay, when the memories are going, it's actually like it's like beep 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 beep. It's almost like that long-term potentiation going, and it should be encoding something, right? For some reason, it feels like it doesn't really, I don't know that it's actually doing that. It's really focused on the sharp wave ripples. Sharp wave ripples don't happen during encoding. So let's actually let's compare it. I don't want to do it in this one because I don't know. I don't want to waste it with too much because then it gets slow. It might be I'm not understanding it, but I don't feel like the encoding needs something here. I think that the mechanism of the sharp wave ripple gating is like spot on. I think it understands that, it does that well. It knows, okay, if it gets to a certain point, make sharp wave ripples. That part is solid. I think it's the encoding that is not fully like I don't feel like it's fully there maybe, but I might be wrong. Let's see how these other researchers did encoding. You see how I feel so they have been guiding me through this whole thing. I think that's why it keeps messing up the ripples and encoding things that don't make sense. So these researchers also had encoding and consolidating. Theirs were a bit more simple. They had place cells. So they were really looking at just I think place, maybe time maximum, but and they had the rats, quote unquote rats moving down a line. So let's see what they did because I don't think that that's good enough yet. See, they have long-term potentiation in theirs and mine doesn't. There we go. I was like, it's gotta be. I was like, somewhere it's missing. I feel like it needs to be in there and it's not in there now. But obviously that's seeming important. So I was like, and I swear I had read about that in there. We're gonna double check in the study though. We're not gonna only trust ChatGPT because I swear I just searched LTP in their study and didn't get anything, but they do have synaptic plasticity rules and we need that. You see, don't rely on ChatGPT alone because ChatGPT will lead you astray because it does things that you're like, that's not what I meant. And this is the other thing about ChatGPT. They didn't have high ACH in the study, though. They didn't. They have something adjacent. They don't have ACH in their study. So it's leading me astray in multiple places. A little bit sketch, but okay. Okay, I'm gonna take it. I know that's part. I think they just threw high CH for me, but I'm gonna see if it can do something adjacent in mine because it needs that level of complexity to get that stress part in. Because right now, that's why I was like, what's coming out of the sharp wave ripples is not perfect. It's not good yet. You see my criticalness, my Virgoiness, and my right and wronginess does pay off from time to time. It pays off in this context. I feel like this is a good outlet for that tendency. Okay, I don't know. Theirs might be like significantly more complex than mine. Maybe mine needs to be simpler. Obviously, I can't have every little last thing that they use, but I do need. Wait. Actually, let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. Because I just needed to have what I needed to have is essentially. Wait, stop. I have a new opinion. I thought harder. Oh my gosh. It froze. Well, I don't need it to have all that. I don't know why I even tossed that in. What I needed to have is not everything that they had, though I will say that obviously they're experts and I am not. So they know better than me about what needs to be included, but I don't want to copy them. What I want is just basically to have, I need that long term potentiation kind of vibe. Anyways, yeah, we'll go with that wording. That Hebrean style learning, I think that might be what I need. Hebrean? I don't know. Yeah, see, they were doing it too simplistically. I've said this multiple times in this thing. It's my fault for not knowing how to actually do this myself and not knowing how to code so I can just do what I need to do myself. But ChatGPT will highly simplify things because it doesn't. This is a thing again, is that I'm going to shout this from the rooftop so people don't look at this and think ChatGPT can do everything. Absolutely not. No, it does not know how to. It doesn't get you to the right answer. It gets a vague framework of what you are saying, and then it works with that. Okay, so that's why I'm saying like I couldn't ask ChatGPT how do recovered memories work and think that it's gonna burst out some kind of scientific discovery. No, do you see? It takes a lot of back and forth and being like that's not right. So right now it's basically doing encoding is just tagging sharpwave ripple events with the coded content, which tagging sharpwave ripple events isn't what it should be doing because encoding should happen before the sharpwave ripple events. It shouldn't be happen. There should be encoding and then sharpwave ripple events, and that's why I was like, this is not right. When I went to do my neural network, I was like, this is just not. There's something really wrong here. Okay, but still there's something it's gonna be nice and complex because I gave him what I wanted from that study. It's gonna get simplified again because I'm gonna explain it in a simplified way and then it's gonna dumb it down again. This is what I definitely want. These plasticity rules. I asked it for that from the get-go, but it didn't understand. Yes, this is what it should have done from the beginning, my gosh. Yes, these are the things that I'm like, if you know how these things work, why are you collapsing it down into stuff that doesn't even make sense scientifically? This is getting really messy, Zod. If I just had somebody to code, this would be really different. But yes, this is massively challenging, actually. Don't look at it and say, oh, it's through ChatGPT, so it's easy. It's not easy. Just because it's ChatGPT does not make it easy. ChatGPT is like a silly little computer that doesn't know how to do a lot of things well. It knows how to do a lot of things well, but it you have to constantly be catching it on stupid stuff like this. It's just that, like I said before, if I knew how to code, I would just do it myself because I would prefer to do it myself than to have ChatGPT do anything. But sadly, couldn't get into a program. So we're stuck in this situation. Also, again, this is why you don't hire ChatGPT to replace. This is why you don't use AI to replace stuff that is like complex at all. Like if you want any level of complexity or sophistication to whatever it is that you're doing, literally name any job in the world. If you want any level of sophistication and complexity, do not put AI in it because this is the kind of stuff AI does. You're like, well, why isn't working it? Like, why isn't it working now? It's like, bro, because you fired your real person that knows how to do stuff and put AI in the place. Okay, but anyways. Okay, now this is the complex part, is that I want these bound memories. Yes, this seems so much better. This seems a lot better. There's probably still something wrong here. I need to like really read this over. You know what? I'm gonna stop. I don't know. I'm kind of in a flow though. I think I'm gonna stop it here just because I want to stop just jumping in and I want to really look through everything. You know what? Really quick. Okay, while we're here, I want it to explain to me. I need to get it to explain its plans more. Okay, so, well, I want to keep the bound memories. Is it too complex for this right now, of these events? Because I could try to create some kind of simpler code for it. It makes it so useful to see the places because I don't have, like, I need to learn. I don't know how to put it, but it makes it easier to see these things. But, maybe it's a little bit too conceptual anyways to have events. Like maybe I should just make it some kind of code, if that makes sense. I think that might be the case at the end of the day, but we'll see. You know what? Before we ask this, we're also going to ask about how I'm feeling a little bit not good enough right now. Like I feel like I went a little bit backwards, or like my stuff was a little bit too simplistic again. Like I keep trying to escalate it and it just feels like it keeps being too simplistic. I think I have overly high standards for myself. That's been recently I've been thinking about that. I've been like I set overly high standards for myself and then expect myself to accomplish those standards, and I do, but at what cost sometimes. But anything less than like the absolute highest I could do feels like a failure. Not a failure. No, no, no. Not a failure, but it just feels like I don't know. You know what? We're gonna get back to that. Let me figure this out first. Because like, why am I expecting myself to? No, I actually know why I'm expecting myself to produce to this standard. It's because I just want this problem solved. It's out of spite and for frustration that people aren't getting listened to. So that's a valid reason this time around. But sometimes it's not that valid of a reason. That's the thing. My life would also be better if I was okay sucking at my job. But I don't like sucking at my job. Anyways, okay, that's not important. I'm just talking too much at this point. How are people that suck at their job or even are just mid at their job, how are you not scared of getting fired 24/7? I'm constantly scared of getting fired. That's why I put 100% of my work in. Like mediocrity, no, because I'm too scared to get fired. I mean, I don't think I'm being like going above and beyond at my current job. I wish I was going a little bit more above and beyond because I don't like doing something like kind of mid. But I got something more important to focus on, sadly, which is this. Okay, I want to see if were they successful in having it read out the stored information, and how did they do it? You see, these people are my teachers. They don't even know me. They're teaching me everything. How did you guys do it? How did they do it? I don't know because I can't find it. It's a lot of words right now. Okay, let me just lazy vibes tonight. I just want to know what's in the scope of possibility for me. Like what has somebody done successfully so that I can see, well, maybe I'm just going a little bit like outside of what should be done. That's my question. Like maybe I'm assuming that's probably the case. Like I might be going a little bit too abstract where I could do the same thing but a little bit simpler, which has happened to me many times throughout this course of this project. Like it's gotten a lot tighter because I've had an idea throughout this entire thing and it's just gone sort of getting better, like sort of improving as I've gone along and actually learned how people did their studies and what's sort of within the norm. You don't want to be going too outside the norm sometimes, unless that's going to be the only thing that you do, because then you're just a little bit too outside of the box, to the point where it's like, well, it's not really that useful. I don't know. Okay, look at this. So they actually did have, bro, they deserve something for this. This was such a cool study. Experiments. Okay, so they did it, but were they able to get a readout? Because that's what I'm trying to do. But I don't know if mine is like too big. You know what I mean? It's like you're looking at memories that it's a little bit harder to, I don't know. So, because that's what I'm worried right now. I want to scientifically hype them up in my paper. Because this study, I actually think this study is so cool and so good. In scientific terms, I need to hype them up. Like one of the first computational demonstrations that a hippocampal like spiking network could blah 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 blah. Like I need to amp it up so people see this like a cool study. You know what I mean? But scientifically though, like not like yeah they're so cool, but like emphasize the cool parts of the study because the cool parts of the study are also aligned with mine as well. So, but it's so cool. Okay, this is how it worked for them. They actually, so they did what I'm trying to do. So it's not like I'm too beyond the realm of like of the scope. Okay, so they did have places, but this is the thing is that their place was almost like a point in a line, and I was trying to simulate that in my own, but I I'm worried that it got too conceptual. You know what I mean? Because a rat wouldn't encode the word certain words, but I need them to be able to encode more than just one thing. I need them to bind things together. So that's the difficult part. Let's have a chat with ChatGPT and see like I don't trust ChatGPT anymore, okay? I'm not wanting ChatGPT to solve my problem. I'm wanting to get as much information as I can from ChatGPT so I can make the best decision. Does that make sense? That's like my relationship to ChatGPT right now. Because obviously I know that it's making mistakes left and right, but I need it's my coder, my programmer, it needs to code everything. And it's also where I'm going to get as much information as I can about everything so then I can make like the most informed decision, which is why I'm asking it questions like this. I could try to make some kind of code and then that code kind of like equals the thing. I don't know how to put it, but I feel like I'm getting close now. Oh, this is why I'm so tense at my job. It's like, how do you do it's this is so intense, and then I just have to go about my day and like do my other job. And it's like, why? It's like knowing that this is like on the brink of like completion and on the brink of being really something. Yeah, so they have these patterns. And these are concrete. You can see the trajectory again by watching which cells fire. It doesn't mean that what I'm doing is bad. I needed to be able to like encode the way that theirs did because I need to include something like long-term potentiation or whatever it's called. Mine is cool though. I actually like how mine is set up, but I don't know if it's like enough, you know? See, I think mine is too verbal. Mine is giving, I have a comparative literature and societies degree, you know? And it's like, we need less story, we need more numbers. It's saying that's still fine. This is really nerve-wracking. This is really nerve-wracking. This is like an important moment. You know, I'm gonna be done for today because I'm gonna ask like maybe one more question. But sometimes I think if I let my mind just sort of like process, it comes up with better things. You know, I think I'm getting to that point where I need to let this marinate a little bit because it needs to have some of the things that they have. It needs to have that encoding phase to be better. Okay. It needs to have synaptic plasticity. That's the most important thing. It needs to have synaptic plasticity. That was missing from mine. And that's why I was having issues. And I think it wasn't fully understanding the encoding phase much. Like my ChatGPT that was coding everything, I don't think it was fully understanding it because it was taking the sharp wave ripples. Like it was centering the sharp wave ripples in encoding, but sharp wave ripples have nothing to do with encoding. So that's why I was like, okay, this is getting messy. So I also did incorporate some rules, some binding adjacent rules, but I need to look back on those rules and see if I feel good about those rules and if they're still relevant. Because that was my attempt to trying to figure out what, like, how to get things to encode in a different way. But I kind of solved the problem here. So yeah. Okay, this was intense. My hair is messy. This was actually pretty energizing. I feel like on the brink of really getting this done, but I do need to do some thinking. I do need to do some reading. But I feel pretty good about this. Like, it's not bad right now. It's not that bad. As someone with high standards, you know, it's okay. But okay. Yeah, we're done for now.